that was a dead stop and a half.
That was pretty
Welcome to
awesome.
Oh What a Marvel Hawkeye, and we get everything to a fine point. I'm Dean Lewis, and I'm joined today by.
I'm
Can you
sorry.
hear me?
I'm right next to a street, so I didn't quite hear all that. I really apologize.
Right. Why don't you just introduce yourself for us? No?
I, I almost feel like I
Right.
have to
We,
put
we
my phone
appear to
right up
be
to my
having
ear
some
because I just
technical
didn't quite hear that.
issues.
I'm so sorry.
Josh, we got something going on? Am I coming over? What's the situation there?
Okay, I mean, I heard that. Yeah, you're coming over. Yes, yeah, I hear you.
All right. Do you want to introduce yourself? Can you hear me?
My name's Dean Simpson. A huge comic book fan, Marvel, DC, have been for probably 40 years.
I haven't even been alive that long. Anyway, um, so you haven't been with us yet. So give us your overall thoughts on the show so far before we get into the meat of this episode.
I really like it. I like what they're doing on the Disney Plus series to kind of fill in the gaps of the MCU. I really like how they're kind of. I don't want to spoil anything, but like I know we're talking Hawkeye, but like in WandaVision, we got to see how the blip affected other people
Yeah,
outside the Avengers that we obviously saw in the main thrust for like Infinity War and Endgame. And I really like that they're touching on how that blip affected so many other people, around the world.
yeah. I'm glad you mentioned the blip because we open with a scene that ties in nicely. Um, we get Yelena on a Black Widow mission, and then all of a sudden, boom, she's gone.
I know
And
when
this
I
is
when I saw that, I was like, whoa.
like I didn't see it coming until like right before. Like I should have seen where it was going sooner than I did. But what was really interesting about that is I think that's like the first time we've seen the snap and the blip from like the perspective of the person that it's happening to. Normally we're seeing it from the perspective in the movies of other characters seeing like their loved ones or their friends, disappear before them. This is the first time we
Right.
actually see it from the Dusty's perspective, as it were. And I really liked that how she kind of just melted away and then just sort of just faded back in, and everything was just slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
And she comes out, and the stones on this woman. She's like, yeah. By the way, you've been gone 5 years. Do you want to come? Do you want to come to work? Like, what's that about? She's relentless.
Mm-hmm.
This fucking job just doesn't, you know, no compassionate leave whatsoever. Um, and then she's like, yeah, that's okay. I'm not going to come to work. I'm going to go and find Natasha. Yeah. Brutal. That was
Yeah. Oh,
painful. She's so determined. And we're all sitting there like, yeah, we know. We know that that's not going to work out for you.
right.
Um, so that was hard to watch. Really well acted. And again, especially considering, we're so like well known what the truth of that situation is. So I really enjoyed that. Well, I didn't because it's brutal, but it was well done.
They did a great job. They did
um,
great.
all of this before we even get the logo and the recap. We haven't even got to the logo and the recap yet.
Right.
So there's a lot to this episode.
A lot to unpack. I'm glad I watched it
Um,
before doing the
then
show.
we catching up with Kate and Mum. Um, Kate's just like, yeah, he let me go. Like I tried to help again.
Yeah. I
And
I know Kate
she's
Bishop
like,
from the
yeah, look, he
comics.
did his best. It's all my fault. Clint didn't do anything wrong, which was nice. Because I was kind of bummed out the last couple of episodes with like the back and forth of like Clint telling her to leave, her coming back, Clint letting her come back, the
Hmm.
mum getting involved and all that stuff. It kind of just kept tugging in each direction.
Yeah, yeah, in the comics, from what little I have seen of Kate Bishop when she was first introduced in Young Avengers, they didn't really
I'm
do
not
anything with
familiar
her
with the
mom.
with Kate really in the comics. I've read a couple of things like the Young Avengers with her in there, but I don't really know her that well at all.
But I mean, her dad was more of a focus when she was first introduced. So it was kind of and I know, and the MCU changes things, and for one reason or another. But it was kind of a bummer that her dad, you know, unfortunately died during the attack on New York. But her mom's really a very interesting character, and I'm not sure if her mom's necessarily on the side of the angels. I guess I don't know when to. I guess I don't know when to be quiet.
No, it's okay. Well, apparently, we lost Dean there for a second, but I'll step in. But yeah, I like he said, I don't know a lot about Kate as well. And you said that they cover a lot about her dad in the early introduction to her.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Looks like he might be back. Let's take a look. Oh,
Hey there.
Did I make it? Did I make it?
Yep, I think you're back. Can you hear me okay? Ooh. Maybe I should have grabbed my laptop. Hey, Josh, I'm not getting any audio.
can you hear me now?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, sorry about that. Can you tell me? I was saying, just kind of talk a little bit about your thoughts on it. I was saying, I really thought this was an interesting episode because it didn't focus as much on Hawkeye as it did on a lot of the other characters
Right.
in this show compared to other episodes that they've
Mm-hmm.
done so far. So I was kind of
And
wanting your thoughts on that.
I like how they're doing that.
Yeah, yeah, like I love that they've introduced characters like Yelena. I honestly I want her to have her own show. I worry because like Echo is supposed to have her own show. I haven't really kind of grown to like her all that much.
Yeah, and I'll admit I don't know a lot about her. I know she's probably more in like the Daredevil side of the Marvel comics, um, and obviously with the little reveal of Kingpin at the end there, that kind of cinches that. So, uh, but I got the impression that Echo, I guess Echo was like a protege of Daredevil's, but I don't know how that or if that's gonna play out that way.
Yeah,
Because I think there's been rumors that Charlie Cox is going to reprise his role as Daredevil for the MCU, but I don't know how definite that is or what they're planning on doing or how they're going to do that. Maybe we'll get another really awesome, surprise for the final episode of Hawkeye, and maybe just a quick little Charlie Cox cameo or something. I don't know, but that'd be really actually kind of cool.
yeah. That I think that would actually be pretty cool. So we get a scene. My notes aren't as detailed as Dean's probably would have been because I wasn't planning on hosting. But we get a scene with Yelena in Kate's apartment, which I thought was quite fantastic.
Yeah, I liked that.
Yeah, so
and I liked how Yelena kept calling her Kate Bishop, and Kate's like, "Are you just saying my full name just so I know that you know my name?" Hey, there you are.
Did I make it? Am I coming over?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Oh, nice one. Right, where we at?
We were talking a little bit more about the episode. Yelena kind of in Kate's apartment, and they kind of have like a nice little, girls' night. Almost like a bonding moment. But
is that
then, of
how
course,
you took that scene? Because that's totally not how I read that scene.
That was a great scene. I love that.
It's a great scene, but like it started off fun. Like Yelena comes in, she's like, "Yeah, I made mac and cheese. I really like this mac and cheese. It's the best thing ever. Like the hot sauce. I love the hot sauce." And I'm thinking, like, this is too friendly and goofy. What's going on here? And then she starts talking about like the sightseeing and the landmarks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started to sink in. I was like, oh, I see what she's doing now. And it reminded me a little bit, just a faint hint of Inglorious Bastards, the opening scene with the interrogation. And it's just like she's just really warming her up, and then she just starts, slowly getting more and more cutting with the questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that
Yeah.
was really well done. And I thought they were both really great in that scene. And at one point, I thought that the accent was going to start to grate on me, but then she brings it back. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I don't know how good a Russian accent is, so it's hard for me to like process if she's doing a good job. I think she's doing a good job, but
I think so. Yeah, I don't think I could do any better.
yeah, let's all do a Russian accent right now. No, let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not.
Right, where are we at next? So Clint goes to see the LARPer guy. I can't remember his name. I haven't got that in my notes.
Grills.
I wasn't sure if it was Grills or if he said Krills. I didn't just want to assume it was Grills because that didn't seem like an appropriate nickname for the character. He's not a grilly kind of.
And I don't know if that's his name or like his nickname among his, LARP friends because he's a firefighter.
Maybe. Oh, that makes sense. Grills for a firefighter. Yeah, fuck it. Well, I'm trying to find where we are. Oh man, I've got so many notes on the Yelena scene. We smashed through it. I did also have in my notes that Haley Steinfeld reminds me of a young Michelle Monaghan. So there you go. You heard it here first. And then we get the two goons. There we go. Two goons in the van.
Yeah.
And hello, there's an arrow right in between them, and we got a note. He wants to meet Maya at the place that they both know where the place is that they met, or the place that she saw him, which is yeah, Clint's on the phone to the missus. Like, yeah, I got to go and deal with this now. I got one final thing, and then he mentions the big guy.
Yeah.
We got no mention of this last week. I was pretty disappointed. But we've now had a hand and a mention of a big guy, so we know where we're at. We know what's going on at this point. Maya, who's supposed to be this like honorable, like gang lord warrior person, you know, completely goes against the rules of the note and brings all the goons. He's
Yeah.
like, meet me alone at the place, and she's got people stationed everywhere, all like patrolling up and down the fucking tarmac. Like, that's not fair. Come on, he laid the terms out pretty clear. Like, where's the Warriors code or whatever?
No honor among thieves.
Yeah, there should be. I thought there was. I don't know. I don't know the rules of the Ronin. That's fine. It's fine because we get some great action, because we don't get any action this whole episode, and it's not a problem because it's so well shot, and like the color palettes are really cool, and you know the tension is really, the score is like really intense this whole episode, like, so it really carries you through. And then we get like an Assassin's Creed scene of Clint just like showing how he can roll when he's got some prep time, and everything comes in, takes out everybody. Not even using a bow really, like he's just sword and limbs, and you know, just full Ronin mode, I guess. I mean, I guess it'd kind of ruin the illusion if Ronin just started like popping off like trick arrows. Um, so that's fine, and we're saving that for next week. We know we're going to get the costume, we're going to get all the arrow stuff next week, like we got back in episode 3. We haven't had a great deal of that since, so that's fun. We get a little bit of arrow play at the end. Do we call it arrow play? Anyway, heard it here first. So then we get the epic duel between Clint and Maya, and he gets her. He handles her pretty handily. Like he really, you know, Hawkeye's not. He's not done great this whole season so far. Up until this episode, he's really kind of like been flying by the seat of his pants, and he's really on top of it this time. And it's like, is that because he's like getting into the Ronin mindset, and he's just trying to like push that part of him down,
Yeah,
and that's why he's really good? Or is he just fucking had enough and he's just pissed off and he just wants to be done with it?
I hadn't really thought of it, but maybe it's a little bit of both. You know, he had to get in that mindset because he wanted to end it. So yeah, I think you're right. I think he's basically had enough. He's like, look, I came here with my family for one thing, and now all this is going on. You people can't let me have any peace. That's it. I'm I'm done.
Yeah. And like he says on the phone as well, he's like, I need to cut this shit off now before higher up big guys get involved. And yeah, so it makes sense. Like he's really knuckling down. Oh, we forgot to talk about the scene where he's at the memorial. He goes to the Avengers Memorial, and he's acting his arse off in this scene. It's so good. Like when he just stands there, and then he talks like to Natasha for a minute, and then it's like, right, got to do what I got to do. Hoods up, off we go. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that scene because he's really good in that scene.
That was a good scene.
Yeah, there's a few, like, I wouldn't go as far as to call them like monologues, but there's, you know, a few of the characters in this episode really get a moment to shine and do some flexing with Maya and Clint, and Kate gets a great moment with both, with her mum and with Yelena. Like she's super likable in this episode, like more so than the other ones. But it's I don't know, it's kind of comforting that like she's kind of like riding that level. It's like the stakes are slowly like increasing, and she's still kind of like, I wouldn't call it like level headed, but she's kind of like, you know, just riding a certain vibe that she's been carrying all the way through, and she's just relentless. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna come out again, because I'm gonna leave you a million messages and you're not gonna reply. And that scene, I should have hated that scene. but it just really worked for some reason. So I guess that's just down to a good performance. Meanwhile, we get so Kate comes to the rescue because Maya again, not
Right.
obeying the Warriors code, decides that she's going to try and get the one up on Clint after he just set the rules down and said, "Leave me alone." And she doesn't want to do that. So then Kate has to pop off a couple of arrows, intervene, saves the day. Meanwhile, Kate's mum is being followed by Yelena. What's that about?
Yeah, I wasn't really sure where that was going.
Oh, spicy. And then we cut back to Clint and Kate at the at Grills' place. We're saying that the costumes are ready. We're getting the costumes. I don't know if I want to see him wear the costume. I don't know if I need that image in my brain. I mean, yeah, it'd be a fun novelty, but do we really need it?
I don't know if they're going to do like the strict Hawkeye costume. I think we're going to see. I think we kind of already. I think they've been spoiled for us, like in the not like the opening, but what do I want to say? Like on Disney Plus, they have like that little marker or whatever you want to call for the Hawkeye show, and Hawkeye and Kate are standing there in kind of like contrasting purple and black. I don't want to say jumpsuits, but costumes. I think that's the costume we're going to see. I don't think we're going to see, the classic, Hawkeye with like the, domino wing mask and the cowl and everything. Would it be cool, like you said, for a novelty? Like they did that for Vision and Scarlet Witch for their Halloween episode.
Yeah, and
but
it works for that show because that was a different
right,
tone, right? But it seems like they're hinting at the classic costume a bunch with the design and Kate drawing the thing on the napkin and everything. So I feel like they're teasing it, but I don't know if it's just a tease just for fan service and that's where it ends, or if we're going to go all the way. And I'm kind of nervous but curious to find out. Like, maybe we just see the costume like on a mannequin or something,
Mm-hmm.
like, and he's just like, "Nah, fuck off, I'm not wearing that." But I can't see any reason. Like, oh, I'm gonna go fight. I'm gonna go fight the Kingpin. Oh, I better put on the LARP costume. So hopefully not. But maybe there's a reason. Maybe they work it in. I trust them. They've handled it pretty well so far. So then Kate gets a text, and we find out that Yelena was in fact hired by Kate's mum. Who would have thunk? I knew she was suspicious this whole fucking time. She was acting shifty, and she's hired a Black Widow. So she's not like, not just like a run of the mill like dime store hitman. She's hiring a fucking Black Widow, not on her own daughter, but on somebody pretty close to her daughter, which is pretty dangerous. You would assume that, as we talk about earlier on in the episode, collateral damage is happening all the fucking time. Like, so the mum is playing fast and loose with a lot of money and a lot of connections. And then we see the picture of the connections that we have, and we get the Kingpin finally.
Well, and there's like there's a lot of fan theory on Jack Duquesne, like who he is, and I don't know if it's been covered or if you heard the fan theories, but with his fascination with swords, they're implying that Jack Duquesne is swordsman.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I mean, he gets arrested in this episode for like tax evasion or something. And even as he's getting arrested, he's still acting like a cartoon character. Like, I can't wait to come back for the Christmas party.
I know.
What the fuck is this guy on? So So I don't know what the point of him really is, because if the mum's just like the bad guy anyway, then did we really need him? Just yeah,
Right.
unless he's going to actually like flip around with a sword, I don't see the need.
Well, and did you see the movie Black? Did you see Black Widow?
Yeah,
One thing, and I don't want to say it bothered me, but with them implying that Eleanor hired Yelena, the Black Widow movie, like the end credit scene or mid credit scene, I forget now. Something else is implied as far as who actually hired or put Yelena on Clint's tail. So I don't know if that's like a misdirection, or I think I've read somewhere that the people that producing Hawkeye, they didn't know about Val and that scene in Black Widow.
they had to know about Val. I mean, they do some great work in this one as far as like talking about like Clint and Natasha's relationship and all that stuff, and how like, and they kind of like fill in the blanks as far as like, was Yelena aware of Clint before? Was Clint aware that Natasha had a sister and all this stuff? So they really like connect a few of the dots in this episode. So
Mm-hmm.
they had to have known. Like, and it is a bit of a weird plot hole. Unless Val is working with the Kingpin, and it ties back in that way. But I who knows? I
Right.
really want the Thunderbolts and the Dark Avengers, so I'm just hoping that Val. That's what I want out of that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, tie it into who you want. Just get there. Give me that Disney Plus show of the Thunderbolts,
That would be awesome.
please. It would be so good. John Walker, Yelena. Who else have they set up? A whole bunch of people in the
Well,
in the last few shows.
they could get Secretary Ross, and
Yeah,
if he actually does become Red Hulk, that would be something.
yeah. You make Red Hulk the villain for the first arc, like where he tries to like power himself up to join the team, goes off the rails because it's a Hulk thing, and
Mm-hmm.
what do you expect? But yeah, we're setting up all these potential candidates. You got Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, is another classic Thunderbolts member.
Mm-hmm.
Baron Zemo, of course. Like, all those pieces are falling into place. So I really want
Right.
that.
Yeah.
I really want that. And if you can tie Kingpin into that, then it's a stretch, but maybe I can see that working. And however whatever you want, just give it to me. I'm excited. One more episode to go. You got any thoughts on what to expect from the final episode?
I don't know. I'm there. I really don't know what to expect for the final episode.
Yeah,
I mean, I
it's
really.
weird, right?
Hmm.
It's weird, right? Because it's not like there's no like real cliffhanger other than just seeing the Kingpin. So it's like, well, okay, but like, how is this all going to come together? How is it
Right.
going to, what was the Maya situation? Is she, because she's kind of like, her arc kind of seemingly is done, really. She's questioning her
Oh,
what's the guy's
Kazi.
name? Cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's questioning him because Clint implies that there's a like she's got a weak link in the chain or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, hence how he was able to like get there and get in contact. So that's fun. So now she's questioning him. So there's dissent there. I thought at one point she was just going to kill him. I thought she was
Yeah.
just going to be like, "You're the trait. You're backstabbing me. I'm going to kill you straight away." But we're not going there, and I don't suppose they will if she's getting her own series, because I'm already like finding it hard to imagine how they're going to like resolve that character in a way that leaves her in a position to have a solo series.
Yeah. I know. Right.
Um, which but they've announced it, so.
And I want to see if they're actually going to do anything with, Jack Duquesne, like, have, tie up his story, or, is he going to kind of have a moment where he gets to do something more than, sort of, dad joke comedy relief, or is he going to, come out with one of his swords and, threaten Eleanor, threaten Kate? What's his story?
As much as I've hated seeing him in every time he's on the screen, I'd be disappointed if I didn't see him again. Like, there's got to be something else, like you say, going on with the character to warrant him being there. So, as much as I don't like him, I want him on my screen again. So,
yes.
I guess they got me. Are we missing anything? No other key points in this episode?
So.
Man, I'm pretty excited, even though I don't know what to expect.
I think that's that's actually part of the excitement, not knowing what to expect.
I mean, it was like, because, like with Loki, for example, you knew that the final episode was going to be like, just like explaining how everything was put together. Or WandaVision, you knew the final episode was going to be like, breaking down Westview and confrontation with Agatha. Like, you kind of have a general sense, and in this we don't. Like, we've already had Hawkeye fighting Maya, who was like kind of build up as like the big bad of the show, and Kingpin's not really like a dude that you like are going to be firing trick arrows at, like, so. And we know we're going to get like some big set piece at the end of this. So I'm just intrigued to find out what that's going to look like. Is it going to be like, Kingpin classic, like ninjas running around like in the comics? That'd be fun. Just faceless ninjas that can just disappear into thin air when you shoot arrows at them. Gives us an excuse to have lots of fun, cool arrows.
Right.
Which is the greatest thing about the ninjas in the comics. They just cannon fodder, guilt-free entertainment. And on that note, as much as I love the tension and the cinematography and the music, I like some mindless, ninja zapping is where it's at. So that's what I'm hoping to see for next week's episode.
Yeah, I could handle seeing some, ninjas from the hand. Sure.
Yeah, they don't have to be from the hand, but that would really be like a cherry on the top of that if we got that kind of reference.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And I can't speak to anything in any movies that may or may not have come out recently as far as like exciting things and possibilities for the future. And on that note, tell the people where they can find you.
Oh, me. Give
them your address.
At Seamson Dean on Twitter. Just Dean Seamson on Facebook. I have a TikTok, but I haven't done a whole heck of a lot with it. I'm really not sure if I'm really not sure what social media is going to do for me or what it can do for me. I tried a little bit of something with a YouTube series talking about comics, but I moved recently, so that's kind of on the back burner until things get sorted. I wish my partner was here, but he's working. He's my videographer. He's my editor. He puts it all together, makes me look good. So
what we all need.
This is me flying solo with my phone, so hopefully I come across good.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. We had some glitches up top, but it's been a good episode. And if you like this episode, you want to follow me on Twitter, you can get me at DeanLewis2099, where you'll have me making jokes and observations and updating you on when to come back and watch this show. So it's a perfect circle of multimedia content absorption. And that's what you get over here on the Merc with a Movie Blog podcast channel. See everyone next week.
Hey, and thanks for having me. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, I definitely said it was great. It's always great. It's always greater with somebody who's great.